Uruguay is a country between Argentina and Brazil. Its latitude, its extensive coastline, and the absence of natural barriers favors a subtropical climate without extreme temperatures. It has one of the lowest levels of pollution on the planet. Uruguay has a total area of 318,413 square kilometers, including the sea, of which 176,215 square kilometers correspond to land area. Its population is about 3,290,000 people, of whom 52% are women and 48% are men. The primary sector of the economy is directly based on the exploitation of its natural resources: agriculture, forestry, livestock, mining and fishing, standing also for the excellence of its services, tourism, transport and communications. In Uruguay, the state education is secular, compulsory and free at pre-university level. It is governed and managed by the National Public Administration of Education, or Anep. Anep is an autonomous body with legal personality established by law number 15,739 of March the 28th, 1985, and operates in accordance with Articles 202 and following the Constitution and the General Educational Law number 18,437 of 12th December 2008. Its task is to include and implement and develop educational policies that correspond to the levels of education that this body imparts. Its aim is to ensure education at different levels and forms of education to all inhabitants of the country, ensuring the entry, the stay, and the exit. The organs at Anep are the governing body of education, the Board of Early and Primary Education, the Board of Secondary Education and Vocational and Technical Educational Studies, or UTU, University of Uruguay and Education Training. Anep is present throughout the country with more than 680,000 students, 47,000 teachers, and having almost 10,000 between technical and administration staff. In terms of building structure, it has 2,747 schools in the three bodies in the whole of the country. The Central Board Codicen is a collegial body of 5 members who must have worked in the public education system for a period not less than 10 years. 3 members are appointed by the President, acting with its Executive Council of Ministers with the previous consent of Parliament. The other 2 of its members represent the teachers and are elected by their peers through secret ballot. The tasks of the Codicen are promoting a climate of democratic participation and aiming at installing a reflective, critical and responsible attitude within its whole entity. It also defines the broad educational policies to be developed. It appoints the members of the Board of Education and certifies the curricula approved by its councils, which operate within an autonomous framework. The Board of Elementary and Early Childhood Education, known for its defense of imparting knowledge in 2,255 schools across the country to children as from age 3, covering 353,000 students. In this sense, general education schools, rural and schools with a differentiated curriculum have had the privilege of adding up to its numbers full-time schools and schools with an extended timetable. All teachers working at primary school level are qualified and do in-service training courses permanently. It is relevant to highlight the permanent concern for a strong integration of all educational curriculums. Thus, physical education has had more weight in the curriculum, and so have had foreign language learning and the arts department as well as educational campuses. The aim was to expand the school timetable with alternative learning opportunities. In this context, the role played by CEIBAL has been crucial to diminish the technological breach and democratize access to technology to improve learning and teaching. The first step was to distribute thousands of computers among children attending the state education system. This has been a milestone in Latin America and a highly valued asset. The Board of Secondary Education has more than 220,000 students in 319 schools located throughout the country, having two stages: the basic cycle, ciclo básico, which is lower secondary, and bachillerato, or upper secondary level. The lower secondary, or ciclo básico, further develops acquisition of knowledge and strategies developed at primary level, so to promote the learning of different subjects in the fields of humanistics, scientifics, and artistic areas. The upper secondary level, or bachillerato, has a common first-year level and 2 years of diversified education. It thus proposes a greater depth in different areas, humanistics, science, and the arts, enabling students to further their university studies. Secondary education has the aim of enabling students to integrate all aspects of everyday life, including professional, civic, cultural, and social interaction with a critical view and sound basic principles. That is, education for life. The curriculum allows for a diversity of situations to arise and be met in special programs, including adults, students with disabilities, and socially vulnerable. There are also special programs for students who are deaf, hard of hearing, blind students, students with low vision, persons deprived of freedom or with learning difficulties, and those who could not commute in their secondary education. The aim is to bridge the gap at all socio-economic levels, so that no student is left behind and they can all reach graduation level. Spaces of cooperation are created to maximize the outcome of this educational project involving schools and social institutions. The Technical and Vocational Education Council, known as Universidad del Trabajo del Uruguay, is responsible for the state technical education and vocational tertiary level. UTU has developed a modern and innovative educational curriculum in 5 regional campuses, each comprising several regions of the country, whereupon decisions are made on the needs and realities of each region, with the mission of providing scientific and technical education and technologically relevant professional quality in accordance with national strategic guidelines in the social and productive areas. Part of the curriculum refers to instrumentation and control, industrial chemistry, audiovisual, telecommunications, fiber optics, alternative energy, forestry development, agriculture and livestock, irrigation, among other areas, in addition to various distance learning courses using new technologies. The proposals aim at continuing education of its graduates, workers, and productive enterprises to allow for constant technical and technological renewing of its own world and dynamics. It has 138 educational centers throughout the country, which host more than 85,000 students. These centers are viewed and highly valued by the community as socially developed spaces, academic references, which link with the productive world from different perspectives. The College of Teachers is part of Anep, according to transitional provisions of the General Law of Education number 18,437 of 12th December 2008. Scope is to manage training and teacher training of teachers at secondary education level developed in 43 schools across the country, attended by 20,000 undergraduates, technical teachers and professors. The current independent board evolved from a general management created in 1986 called Management Training of Teaching, which operated under the hierarchy of Codicen. The creation of a Director General took into account the need to manage a specialized branch of education, such as the teacher training and development training, which correspond to primary education, technical and secondary education teachers.